9 things that become meaningless. After 70. Embracing freedom and fulfillment in later life. Reaching 70 is a significant milestone, a time of reflection on a life richly lived. By this point, most individuals have accumulated a wealth of experiences, professional successes, personal triumphs, and the wisdom gleaned from overcoming life's inevitable challenges. This accumulated wisdom, resilience, and deepened understanding of life's true values often coincides with a reevaluation of what no longer holds significance. Things that once held sway, driving decisions and actions, may now seem irrelevant, even burdensome. Entering this new chapter necessitates releasing what no longer serves us, focusing instead on activities, relationships, and a lifestyle that fosters fulfillment, joy, and peace. This is a time for authentic living, embracing simplicity, and prioritizing personal happiness, shedding the unnecessary weight accumulated over the years. Below are 9 aspects of life that often lose their meaning after 70, along with practical advice on how to release their hold and live a lighter, more intentional life. 1. Worrying about the opinions of others. For much of life, many are conditioned to prioritize the perceptions of others. We strive to meet the expectations of family, friends, colleagues, and society as a whole, seeking validation through career achievements, personal choices, and social standing. External approval significantly influences decisions. However, as we age, this concern diminishes. By 70, the weight of others' opinions becomes increasingly meaningless. Years of experience reveal that no one else's judgment should define self-worth or dictate how one lives. This clarity brings freedom. Instead of conforming to societal norms or seeking external validation, individuals are empowered to embrace their authentic selves. The wisdom gained allows for contentment derived from aligning with personal values, not those imposed externally. Reflect on past decisions driven by the potential judgment of others. Did those choices ultimately bring happiness? Imagine the liberation of making decisions based solely on personal desires and values. Whether it involves clothing choices, living arrangements, or the allocation of time, prioritizing personal happiness without seeking approval becomes paramount. This is a time to live life on one's own terms, unshackled from the opinions of others. Releasing this burden reclaims personal power, fostering a more authentic existence and a deep sense of peace and joy derived from simply being oneself. 2. Accumulating material possessions. In younger years, accumulating material possessions, homes, cars, clothes, often symbolizes success, security, and achievement. However, as we age, the significance of material wealth fades. By 70, it becomes evident that happiness isn't tied to material ownership. In fact, accumulating possessions can become a source of stress, not joy. Many realize they've spent years acquiring items that are no longer useful or contribute to cluttered living spaces. These items might hold sentimental value or represent past accomplishments, but they can also weigh us down. Maintaining a home filled with possessions demands time, energy, and mental space. Often, our possessions end up owning us. It's time to reevaluate the relationship with material possessions. What truly adds value to life? What can be released? Take stock of your belongings. Are there unused items, clothes unworn for years, or gadgets gathering dust? Decluttering becomes an incredibly freeing experience. Releasing physical items creates space not just in the home, but in the mind and heart as well. Creating space for new experiences, memories, and meaningful connections is far more rewarding than holding on to material things. The joy of life lies in relationships, meaningful moments, and personal growth, not in possessions. 3. Maintaining social obligations that no longer bring joy. Earlier in life, a sense of duty or obligation often drives participation in social events and maintaining connections, even if they no longer bring joy. Politeness, A desire to maintain relationships or a feeling of obligation might lead to saying yes to events that are no longer fulfilling. However, after 70, life is too precious to spend in unsatisfying situations. It's perfectly acceptable to decline social obligations that drain energy or fail to resonate. Prioritizing personal happiness and well-being becomes essential. There's no need for guilt when declining invitations or stepping back from relationships that no longer align with values or desires. Recall instances where attending events out of duty resulted in emotional exhaustion. Imagine the relief of participating only in social activities that bring joy and fulfillment. This could involve spending time with uplifting friends, attending gatherings aligned with personal interests, or simply enjoying quiet evenings at home. The choice to honor true desires is paramount. Selectively choosing social interactions that add value to life makes each connection more meaningful. Increased presence and engagement result from participating in activities that genuinely resonate. This isn't about isolation, but about intentional use of time and energy. 4. Chasing society's standards of beauty. Society often emphasizes youth and physical appearance as markers of beauty. Media constantly bombards individuals with messages equating beauty with smooth skin, toned bodies, and youthful looks. This pressure to conform can lead to a lifelong pursuit of youthfulness or hiding the natural signs of aging. However, after 70, chasing these external standards becomes meaningless. Wrinkles and gray hair are not flaws. They are evidence of a life well lived. Each line on the face tells a story. Each gray hair testifies to accumulated wisdom. Instead of viewing these marks as imperfections, see them as symbols of resilience and growth. Authentic beauty becomes less about physical appearance and more about inner qualities: confidence, kindness, grace, and authenticity. These attributes define true beauty, regardless of age. The most admired individuals rarely conform to narrow societal beauty standards. Instead, they radiate warmth, wisdom, and compassion. Releasing the pressure to conform to societal standards allows for full self-acceptance. The need to hide the natural signs of aging or conform to unrealistic ideals disappears. Accepting one's body and appearance with love and appreciation frees individuals from the endless cycle of attempting to fix something that was never broken. Beauty at 70 and beyond reflects life, spirit, and inner strength. 5. Holding on to activities that no longer bring fulfillment. Throughout life, routines, hobbies, and activities bring joy. However, as time passes, these activities might lose their meaning or become chores rather than sources of enjoyment. After 70, reassessing how time is spent and releasing unfulfilling activities is crucial. This doesn't mean abandoning all past loves, but taking a closer look at what still brings happiness. Perhaps a weekly game is now tiring or a club no longer feels relevant. Stepping back from these activities is perfectly acceptable if they no longer serve personal needs. Releasing outdated routines creates space for new passions and interests. Priorities might shift, leading to exploration of new experiences, such as painting, gardening, or writing. Spending more time with family or engaging in quiet reflection might bring joy. The key is self-permission to evolve and grow. Life after 70 remains full of opportunities for discovery and fulfillment. Releasing unfulfilling activities opens the door to new experiences that align with one's current self. 6. Tolerating toxic relationships. Relationships are central to life, but not all are healthy or fulfilling. Obligation might lead to maintaining relationships that bring negativity or stress. After 70, there's no reason to tolerate toxic relationships that drain energy and emotional well-being. Toxicity can take many forms: a constantly critical friend, a negative family member, or an acquaintance who diminishes self-worth. These relationships often leave one feeling depleted, anxious, or unappreciated. Walking away from toxic relationships is not selfish. It's an act of self-care. Surrounding oneself with people who provide support and positivity is essential. Releasing toxic relationships creates space for healthier connections. Investing time and energy in nurturing relationships enhances well-being and brings joy. Note the feeling of lightness after spending time with those who value and respect you. These are the most important relationships, those that leave you feeling uplifted, appreciated, and understood. Prioritizing these healthy connections enhances quality of life and creates deeper, more meaningful bonds. 7. Comparing yourself to others. Comparison is often called the thief of joy. Throughout life, it's easy to compare oneself to others, a seemingly perfect family, a friend's financial success, a sibling's accomplishments. Happiness and success are measured against those around us. By 70, however, an important truth is learned. Everyone's journey is unique, and comparison only robs us of our own joy. There's no universal formula for success, fulfillment, or happiness. What brings one person joy might not bring joy to another, and that's perfectly fine. Your life is uniquely yours, a reflection of personal choices, experiences, and values. Releasing comparisons allows for full embrace of one's own journey. Instead of measuring self-worth against others, celebrate personal accomplishments, no matter how small. Recognize the value of experiences and lessons learned. Focusing on your own path fosters authentic living and greater contentment. 8. Clinging to outdated goals. Younger individuals often set ambitious goals based on societal expectations, personal aspirations, or past dreams. These might include career success, financial stability, or recognition in a particular field. As we age, priorities shift, and some goals lose relevance or meaning. After 70, reevaluating goals and determining what truly matters now is important. Releasing goals that no longer align with values or desires is acceptable. Perhaps climbing the corporate ladder is no longer a priority, with spending time with loved ones being more fulfilling. Prioritizing experiences and memories over material success might become paramount. Redefining goals allows for focusing on what brings joy, peace, and purpose. Goals should reflect who you are today, not the person you were decades ago. Releasing outdated ambitions allows for intentional living and pursuing what truly matters now. 9. Feeling guilty for prioritizing your own happiness. Many spend their lives prioritizing the needs of others, family, work, friends. As a result, guilt might arise when finally focusing on personal happiness. After 70, releasing that guilt is crucial. Your happiness matters as much as anyone else's. Decades of giving to others necessitates giving to yourself. Prioritizing well-being isn't selfish, it's necessary for emotional, physical, and mental health. Caring for oneself and engaging in joyful activities allows for more present and meaningful interactions with loved ones. Identify what brings joy, travel, nature, hobbies, relaxation, and make it a priority. Putting personal happiness first enriches not only your life, but the lives of those around you. Conclusion: letting go for a lighter, more fulfilling life. As life progresses past 70, certain things lose their weight. Releasing burdens, opinions of others, material possessions, toxic relationships, societal expectations, creates space for what truly matters. This is a time to live more lightly, intentionally, and joyfully. Embrace the freedom of this life stage. Focus on relationships that bring happiness, fulfilling experiences, and simple pleasures that make life meaningful. Releasing what no longer serves you opens the door to a deeper sense of peace, purpose, and fulfillment. This is your journey, one to be lived fully, authentically, and with an open heart. Let go of what no longer serves you,